Best of r/Tales from Tech Support episode 25. TL. Doctor when moving keep focus or you'll crash. $me. Obvious. $application admin. Too busy to be bothered. $user. Confused and angry by now. $other user. Very helpful. So, we have a ticket that keeps bouncing back. One day it is noticed solved, the next it opened again. Complaint on $application. The application has generated an error and will now close. The bog standard error message of any net application. Yeehaw. To make matters worse, we are in the middle of a Windows 10 migration. This is why, more worse, $application. A scanner front-end application needs to be upgraded. It scans then files documents into a CMS database. The connection to the database has been flaky at best in the first few incarnations of the new version. The scanners have some sort of add-in card that does image processing. Drivers for them have been developed until roughly halfway 2012, 3 years before Windows 10 was released. On top of all this, the location we're in is also complaining about slow connection to the central file shares and the internet. To summarize, flaky network, OS upgrade, backend upgrade, client upgrade, application upgrade, ancient drivers, non-repeatable non-triggerable errors, aka, the perfect storm. $me. So, can you show me the error? I mean, is it possible to trigger it somehow? $user. Snippy. Well, no, not really. Otherwise I would tell you so. $me. I see. This happens totally at random? $user. Yes. I already told the service desk 100 times. $me. Can you show me your normal workflow? Maybe I noticed something out of the ordinary. $user. Fine. But this was already done before and then the error will not show. $user starts clicking, scrolling, typing, and processes several documents from start to finish. No errors. I keep watching for maybe 10 minutes more, but nope, not today. I start fooling around on another system with the same application to see if I can, blissfully ignorant, trigger the error. At some point I just open loads of other applications at random. Click/move whatever until the application has generated an error and will now close. Out of nowhere. Right. We are not chasing ghosts at least. I reset the workstation and start again, now taking better notice of what I am doing. And, I trigger it again. But how? I had focus on a spreadsheet, then moved my mouse then, what? Rinse, repeat. $other user walks in. Yo $me. I may have found something. $me. Oh please do tell. $other user. When you told me you were moving around with your mouse, I remembered that only recently we got dual monitors. $me. Oh, I wasn't briefed on that one. $other user. It looks like whenever $application window is not in focus and you scroll the wheel inside $application window, it crashes. So if you check an email, go back to the scan task queue list and scroll before clicking, it goes bang. Whoa, what? I try to replicate and indeed. Take focus to another application, move mouse back inside the area, scroll, crash. Wait a moment, it can't be. I opened the application, no other applications open yet. Click on the taskbar, move back, scroll, crash. $me. Thank you sir, we have found a genuine bug in $application it seems. $user. Okay, but now what? $me. Workaround is making sure you click in $application before scrolling your mouse. A more permanent fix would be mice without scroll wheel. $user. No thank you, we'll try to get used to this until they fix things. Here's the real kicker. There was already a hotfix available for this specific error in $application. But they did not want to patch $application because they feared it might break something. Sure, like you could keep track of what breaks anywhere anyway with a project like this. 6 months later, I haven't had any notice on the hotfix being implemented. Thank you. Next. I have met some interesting characters in my time and this is a story about one of them. Some years ago I worked in the arts and culture area of a prominent website. We had built up a lot of book reviews in our CMS over time and I was given the task of cross-indexing them by year, so that we could do a best books of 2011 feat or all books we reviewed in 2012 whatever. year, in this case, was just a voucher field in the database to which we'd attach the label year. And yes, you're all very smart people and you can probably already guess that this was a bad idea, but everything was like that in this organization. The CMS was basically a post-apocalyptic wasteland where there were no rules. So I build the index code and run it, and everyone's reviews turn up just fine, except for reviews by the one person, Diana. Diana was not young and had not always adapted to new technology, but her reviews were in the system. I could see them right there. Take an example, one book review by Diana from 2011. It's right there. I run the code. Does it appear on the list for 2011? Is it buggery? I stared at that screen for quite a while before I figured it out. I mean, what the hell? There was the review. The date field clearly says 2011 or, wait. And now it's time to take a brief detour into the history of the typewriter. Take a look at this beautiful thing. https://inga.com/8pqmjmd. That is a vintage portable typewriter of the type Diana. And, you know, Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Mark Twain etc. would have used years ago. You can see it has all the standard keys, right? Or does it? What do you not see? Top left? That's right. With a portable typewriter, back in the day, space was at a premium. There was no need for two keys which looked exactly the same on the page, so they didn't have a key for the digit 1. If you needed a 1 you just used lowercase l. Diana had been writing for so long she started out on a typewriter just like this, and as a result, her book review from 2011 was actually from 20LL. Like I said, I have met some interesting characters in my time. Update. Thanks for the gold. Thank you. Next. TL. Dr. The Queen will never win the game. For Rumpelstiltskin is my name. $me. Obvious. $co-worker. As baffled as me. $networking. This group needs to stop using mind-expanding stuff. So, we are in the middle of a migration from one OS to another. This means a lot of system swapping, making sure the applications have landed on the new swapped system and whatnot. To know for sure it landed, we need to make sure of the new hostname, which is retrievable from the IP address of the system, which is set in DHCP, or rated BOOTP the way it's configured here, by entering the MAC address of the network card, which is unique. There is a networking management tool in which you can enter a MAC address and it will spit out wall outlet, room, building, department, switch plus port, MAC address, VLAN, IP address from which you can find the host name, if the stars align, because DNS in here. Nifty bit of kit. However, $co-worker, you have got to be kidding me. $me, what is the story today in this circus? $co-worker, we got a ticket that $super important reporting tool isn't working on their system after the swap. $me, that is odd. What is the system number? $co-worker, ABC 123456ZY. I dutifully check. $me, yep, indeed, that should have $super important reporting tool installed. The IP address has been entered for install. I enter the system name into the ticket database, retrieve MAC address, enter MAC address into network management tool. This I cannot believe, I will not believe, I refuse to believe. MAC address entries in here must be unique, as in, there is only one device with that specific address. So if I get several entries with the same MAC address, something is severely amiss. I do an export of the tables so I can do some maths on how bad things actually are. It is bad, very bad. Only 60% of the MAC address entries are unique. I don't know how this network is even running. This thing has never been cleaned up even once. $me, $co-worker, have a look at this. $co-worker, $and, %, and %. I knew it was bad, but not this bad. $co-worker, I want a copy of this so I can inform $teamload why progress is being slow. Every time we have a duplicate, it costs 30 minutes or more to find out what actual IP address is being leased to the system so we can deploy it properly. $me, it seems I'll need to print this full color, red for wrong, and put it on the door of $networking. What are they smoking? Thank you. Next. So I've been doing tech support in a call center now for over 12 years for various companies. I finally escaped the call center and am now a cloud server technician. Anyway, with so many years, as many I've realized in tech support, you get some amazing stories to share. I was working for a small ISP. We primarily worked with small businesses, providing DSL and T1 services. We had some residential customers who had been with us since the beginning, and many people in our city loved us, especially since we were US based, and our training was rigorous and any one of us could probably pass the Net Plus certification test. I worked the swing shift. I was off at 11 p.m. It was a great shift, usually pretty quiet, but we got some of the hardest issues, like intermittent connectivity shutters. I received a call, her internet was down. I pulled up our snapshot of the connection and see a connection to the modem and see a decent amount of traffic going to the modem. I ran a timeless ping and they reached their IP without any drops. I asked them if they had another computer. She said yes. I asked if she had a router, and she said yes. I asked if she could go to the second computer and for me and see if she can connect. She says she can connect just fine. I verified the connections. Both were into the router. So the issue is either the computer or router. Per company policy, we couldn't troubleshoot beyond the modem as the company didn't want to be responsible for any damage to the equipment. Most customers understood and would call Geek Squad or a family member to help them. The most we could do is walk through assigning a static IP to their device, which we only provided static IPs. I let each customer know that the issue is the router or the computer, and advised she can try unplugging the power to the router for 2 minutes and seeing if that helps. But since the other computer was working, and both were plugged into the router, it's most likely the computer, but the router could just be having issues. I explained that we are unable to troubleshoot the LAN and her computer due to them not being our equipment. She blew up on me. This isn't an issue with my equipment. This is an issue with your service. It sucks. It's not working. I again tried to explain that I'm seeing traffic coming to and from the modem. I'm able to ping the IP, so it's even getting to the router, as that's where the static IP would be set up. So the internet was working fine. That didn't work. She was screaming and yelling at me. So I tried to use logic. Big mistake. I explained that the other computer was connecting fine. She was able to get to other websites, so the internet was working fine. She responded, I kid you not, with don't use logic on this. This is an illogical situation. I took a deep breath, advised the internet is working fine and there was nothing more we could do. She said many choice words and hung up on me. I was dumbfounded, and all I could do was laugh after the call ended. It was hard to hold it back while on the call. To this day, I've never heard anyone else say that or anything similar. Thank you. Next. Just had a customer call in for tech support. Now without getting too detailed, we sell approximately 20 plus machines a month to distributors, who then sell to end users. Guy had no idea what machine he had, so asked me if I, a tech, with no involvement in sales, remembered the machine we sold to one of our larger, they buy and sell multiple machines a month, distributors about 4 or 5 years ago. I am ashamed to admit I LOL'd at that question, and explained to the customer that I have nothing to do with sales, so no, I wouldn't remember that sale. Thank you. Next. I had a couple of people suggest I should cross-post my tech story to here. I edited it and shortened it to make it compliant with the rules on here. I hope you all enjoy. Strap yourselves in for the background. I am a woman in the tech field, and I just so happen to go by my last name. So, if you worked for the big box company but weren't in my store, you probably wouldn't know my gender. This is important. Due to circumstances, we ended up getting a new manager from another store out of state. His first day was on my day off. My coworkers told me he wanted 2 hours with each of us to learn our thoughts on diagnosing issues, and he was really eager to learn from us. He was especially interested to learn from the top tech who he heard about in his previous store, i.e., me, until he learned I was a woman. I won't go into details here, but his face fell when he met me for the first time. He went from wanting to meet me and learn from me, to ignoring me, or at the worst, talk down to me at times. Fun. Manager got it in his head that he was going to do something to prove he knew his stuff, so when a customer came in wanting a custom built computer, which we weren't supposed to do, he grabbed the opportunity. He helped the guy pick out the parts, compare prices, and sold him the labor to put it all together. He also told me he was going to build it in my repair space, taking away a whole bench in the process from me, and he was doing this alone. And, I will never forget this. Don't tell me how to do this. Let me learn. Oh, I will. Cue the manager putting this machine together on the bench behind me while I continued my work, just waiting. Manager has it together, hits the power switch. Computer turns on, then off, then on, then off. He unplugs, then takes it apart, then together again. Same result. As someone who put together a lot of computers, I know it's something to do with the processor right away based on the power cycle. Because a tech I know is good helped him install the parts, I know they are in right. I also glanced at the box which had the socket of the Mobo listed as compatible. So, there's really only one option left after that. So, I can hear the wheels turning behind me, but he told me not to give him advice. So, I keep working with my mouth shut, let him ask me when he is good and ready. He then believes parts must be bad. So, he has the customer send parts back, wait for the new ones, then try again. Same result. This continues for 2 months. He has a customer, who is obviously very angry at this point, send every single part back, then have a whole new set of parts delivered. He has promised the customer this is the last time. This time it will work. He definitely knows what he is doing. The day arrives where the customer brings in the parts. The manager is there. I am there. I stop repairing computers as he puts the final part in, and I lean against my bench to watch what is about to happen. How could I not? He hits the power. Same result. He is furious. He throws a screwdriver across the bench, denting the wall, and curses so loudly I am sure a customer heard. He puts his hands on either side of the machine, head down, shoulders slumped, utterly defeated. In a quiet, oh so quiet voice he asks, OP, what's wrong with it? Me, the motherboard and processor aren't compatible without a BIOS update. Manager, how long have you known this? Me, since you first turned it on 2 months ago. He turns. He is red in the face, veins are bulging, and I'm pretty sure he thought about decking me for a second before composing himself with a very, very deep breath. Manager, why didn't you say anything then? Me, smiling sweetly, because you told me not to, and to let you learn. So, have you learned? He stormed off, and out of the store. He ended up taking 2 personal days, and I ended up building a new PC that actually worked without having to ship in a new CPU just to install the update. Customer was cool once I explained everything. I showed them how iCable managed to allow the best cooling and looks with their clear case. It became the legendary story to tell all new techs, not only as a cautionary tale, always ask for help, but also a fun jab at management who seldom understands tech. Thank you. Next. Sorry guys, and girls. I am about to hurt you. So I got a new internet contract and a new connection when I moved. The connection date rolls around, the technician comes and leaves, says everything is perfect. I, not wanting to be annoying, say yay, great, thanks for coming out. 2 hours later, he was here at 6:30, WTF. I check. Nothing works, no connection. I call the hotline. They say their wires are fine. I check again. Nothing. I call again. They say everything up to my apartment works great. I am confused. The next day, nothing works. I check a different cable. Nothing works. I call customer service. $me, your SHT is broken. $CS, no it isn't. $me, yes it is. I felt like I had done everything. Self-checks and diagnostics of the router, factory reset, try a new cable etc. So it must be their problem, right? After nearly a week of internet failure they agreed to send a technician. Within 20 seconds he confirmed the cable was the problem because for some reason their out-of-the-box cable was broken and the second one I checked with was broken too. Lesson learned, always use a cable that you know works, when testing for faults. I had about 3 others but didn't even think of trying them. I am an idiot.